All right, this is Michael Williams. I'm here today with one of my clients. Thank you so much for being willing to join us here today. You and I have been working together for several months now, more than 3 months. But what I wanted to ask you today is, first of all, tell us whatever you'd like about what you do. I'd like for people to understand the level that you're at in your company and your business, and that will give them an indication of the kinds of speaking opportunities that you take advantage of. Then we're going to talk about where you were pre-Pro 90D, some of the things that maybe you struggled with, and then we'll continue from there. So introduce yourself to whatever degree you would like, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah. So hello, everybody. So my role today, I'm a technical leader in a company. So my background is very technical, and I'm a background in material science and electrical type of engineering. And in my position today, I have to supervise several people in my team. And as a technical manager, as a technical leader, what I have to do is I need to talk to people pretty much every day. People within my team, I have meetings every day with several people. I need to speak in front of like 10, 20 people on a daily basis. But even, something that I struggled before this program was mostly in those situations where I had to speak in public in front of several people, 50, 100 people. And because of my role, these type of occasions, were something that would come up pretty often. I would say maybe once every 3 months or so. And I remember very well how difficult it was for me to prepare for those. I was anticipating, with a few months in advance that, with not very good feelings. So it was a struggle, and that's why I actually decided to start looking around. I mean, my problem that I had before was mostly during the public speaking situations where I would get very nervous, and I would start either stammering or stuttering. And that's something that I really wanted to tackle. So that's how I got in contact with Michael. I looked around at a few programs. I found Michael's program very interesting, and I learned some of the main features through YouTube, actually. And what I liked about this program is that it was not just focusing on stopping and mitigating those, stammering situations and learn how to prevent from stuttering, but rather try to focus on becoming a superior speaker. And that's something that I really like because, especially, I see many people in positions that are very similar to mine. And what I see is that most of these people are very knowledgeable. Their know-how in what they do is huge. And the big problem of being leaders is that it's also very important to communicate this knowledge, to communicate this know-how in a very effective way. And that's something that many people, including myself before taking this program, tend to struggle. And so, this is something that I really enjoyed joining this program. And I went through this program, and I feel like my public speaking became much better, significantly better. I was not focusing just on not to get stuck during the speech, but rather try to focus on the audience, and to the point that I actually started to enjoy this, which is something that I was not expecting before. And right now I'm looking forward to my next speaking situation in front of many people. And it's the same me, right? So the knowledge is exactly the same. The content is there. It's all a matter of training, working on the public speaking, and focusing on the audience, focusing on the message. And I mean, what I learned through this program is that, there is no magic. There is actually a very specific technique that Michael teaches, several techniques, but not just those kind of techniques, but also, you will have a new type of mindset. You will start thinking of these kind of situations not as a threat, but rather as an opportunity. So this is something that really helped me out. And maybe Michael, you have other questions. I think I kind of went.
No, I couldn't have asked you and have said it any better than yourself. I mean, you basically covered everything that I wanted to ask you, and it was very articulate, very, very clear. So we're gonna skip forward, and I'm just gonna ask you about if you've had any recent successes. If not, that's okay, because I know that you've been doing. If you've had any recent successes, maybe you could share a little bit. If not, then let's just skip forward to any advice that you might give someone
Yes.
who's out there, watching this video, struggling with their speech. They could be anywhere from a student up to professional CEO, whatever. And obviously, people have to be careful because there are lots of programs out there, lots of people that make claims, cures and stuff like that. We're not doing that. What would you tell them about the legitimacy and the effectiveness of this program?
Yeah.
You've already kind of mentioned that, but what would you tell them specifically? People were waiting. They're like, oh, maybe I'll wait till later to do this. What would you say to them?
Well, you asked me, so the first question you asked me is about if I have some kind of successes story. Yes, I have actually many. I've done a lot of these public speakings, and they all went pretty well. Some of them I could say went better than others, but in average, they went so much better than actually before, to the point that actually people started to tell me, wow, that was a great speech. You're very good at talking to the audience, which is something that people usually don't do. So yeah, I had a lot of these stories, and I can share them with you all. But about the program, what I really liked about this program is that there is a scientific basis behind it. It's something, so Michael put together many of the things that you can find in papers, in books, and so there are a lot of studies out there. And it's not just about the speaking itself. It's mostly about, like how your brain works, the neuroplasticity of the brain, all these things, which to me was very interesting. And it worked very well for me. It worked very, very well for me. I'd say that the number one advice that I'd like to give you is, first of all, you need to work on it. It's not something that changed from one day to another. It's something that you need to work on. You need to believe in what you're doing. And for me, the best kind of recipe was, of course, to follow Michael's, all these audios that I have to listen, a lot of practices. But I'd say the number one thing that helped me the most is actually to practice in real speaking situations. Do a lot of this public speaking, because you start one, you do it the first time after you have done a lot of practice, after you have studied a lot, and you do it the first time, you see that it's suddenly so much better, to the point that saying, okay, this is still me, and wow, it's coming out so much better than before. And if you do this once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, then you start to build up a lot of confidence. You start to see that you're able to do this well, and you feel very confident. When you're out there on the stage, there are many people in front of you. You know that you can do it because you've done it before, because you have the tools, and because you know exactly how to talk to the audience, how to please them, how to have them focusing on you. So so I feel this is maybe the number one thing that helped me the most. Yeah.
And you mentioned a couple of things. I want to just circle back around. One of the major foundational pieces of Pro 90D is modeling. right? So say a little bit about how modeling helped you in the beginning.
Mm.
I'm sure you're probably not focused on modeling now because you're probably beyond that, but how did modeling help you in the beginning?
Yeah, so that helped me a lot, and that's not something that I was used to do actually before. But modeling basically is try to imitate one model. I modeled you, Michael, and I studied how you were speaking, how you were moving your hands, how you were articulating words, how you were extending some words. And maybe for the first couple of months, I was trying to speak in front of people exactly the same way that Michael would speak, right? So I was trying to imitate him as much as possible. And I was doing the same thing also during the public speaking. And this helps a lot because it's like if you're acting, it's like acting, you're impersonating somebody else. And this kind of helps, I think that your brain is thinking, okay, that's not you, that's you're imitating somebody else. So it's cool. You can speak very well.
Hmm.
I think that works very well at the beginning. And then, of course, you become more conscious that that is actually you, that you're getting much better. And maybe your style also changes a little bit. But even today, especially during public speaking, I still try to model you as much as possible because this
Hmm.
works pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. So this helps you both in conversations and presentations because some people might think, I've heard some people say, oh, well, this is just for people that do presentations, but this
Yeah.
also helps you in
Yeah,
conversations.
it helps you also it helps you also in the conversation. It took me a little longer, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, because you need to dial that down.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm still working on it. By the way, I don't think I'm like the best speaker in the world, but I think I'm a pretty good speaker right now. And I'm trying to dial that modeling down, meaning without putting too much emphasis on some words or not extending too much. But I'm trying to create like a speaking style that still it's close to the model, but try to dial that down. And
Yeah.
I feel like it takes a bit longer during the everyday conversation, but for public speaking, that worked very fast, really.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you. So we're going to wrap it up there. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I think people will really appreciate the wisdom, the advice, the insight that you've shared. I mean, I know that I do. So thank you so much. And we may do a follow up next week as we plan. I just wanted people to know that we didn't rehearse this, we didn't practice this. This is just right off the top of your head, and you said it very articulately. So thank you so much, and we will be speaking again in another few weeks. I think it is actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.